This review is going to be about a horror game, so if you get scared easily, don't watch this one.
So, I wanted to talk about Link's Awakening for Switch, but I am not even close to getting all my footage. So I was looking on Steam and found this horror game called Dlirium. It's a pony horror game where you shoot monsters, and I thought it would be interesting, so I thought let's give it a try. And also, it's a horror game, so I thought it would be a good idea to make a video about it for October. So the game starts out with a little story. We can immediately see our main character and a friend of her. It's New Year's Eve and they're waiting for two of their other friends. Then they arrive and they meet a very strange Pegasus called Abel, which wears probably some bandages over his eyes. He invites us over to his house where the New Year's party is. It's a small party with only a couple of ponies. And then after just walking around a bit, it's time to have some dinner. But the lights turn off and our main character, called Ada, is all alone in a dining room where her friends are all killed. It's a pretty easy story, but it's still good. So now it's time to play, and it's a top-down horror shooter, which means that there will be a lot of scare stuff and we need to survive it. So the first level is the mansion, and there are monsters. We need to find a key to open a door, and to do that we need to find some more keys to open different doors. But there are monsters, so it's really useful that I found this knife in the kitchen. So let's talk a little bit about the controls. There are a couple of playstyles, but I mainly use shooter, which is probably the best since you can walk with the WASD and attack with the mouse. There's also a flashlight, but I didn't know that when I started, so most of the first level I played in darkness. And there's also a part where you can't use your flashlight for some reason, and it makes it really hard to see anything. So the first weapon I found was a knife, but we can find much more weapons. Like there's a fireball spell which you can charge to make the fire stronger, and at the end of the game there's even a plasma weapon, which is very inaccurate but it's strong. While talking about the weapons, there are also a lot of other stuff you could get, like a teleport spell, which at first is kind of weird to get used to, but it's pretty good. You need to shoot it and then time it perfectly, otherwise you will die in the void or in the wall, or you'll actually survive. When you die, you get sent to this weird dark place, which has a lot of blood. This is some place in the mind of Ada. Also, you want to collect these weird crystals, because the more you collect in the dark, the more stable Ada will be when you leave the dark place. There's also this weird black void, which gets bigger and bigger, which also makes it hard to return after you died. But if you die in here, you get a game over, but sometimes you can just get a game over from, well, just dying to an enemy. I don't know when that trick is, but I would say that happens when Ada's just really weak. And this can get annoying sometimes, because there were a lot of times where I died because of too many enemies, and then when I get back, I get killed yet again, and then you get game over, and these monsters, yeah, these are really some stuff that you would find in a pony horror game. And I think it's a good idea to talk about the ending of this game. Well, there are multiple endings, and on screen I'm showing some of the endings, and just one of them is in my opinion crazy. I'm talking about the make love not war ending, which is basically a pacifist run of this game. It's of course the best ending, but you have to be really skilled with these controls to do that, because the deaths are just really cheap sometimes. I didn't really get a specific ending, I just got the Going Arcade achievement, which means that I beat the game with a normal ending, which was just for me eliminating monsters and just I wasn't even trying to die ending. Well, because I got that ending, let's take a look at it. So at the end of the last stage we find a door, and behind the door there's a room where Ada's friends are, but they aren't the real ones. So after walking a bit we find Abel, and he's the one who's behind all of these nightmares. But he says it's all Ada's fault, because getting presents corrupts you? And because I just tried to get through the levels, I was killed 134 monsters. Which, because I killed so many, Abel thinks that Ada is the monster here. So he's angry at Ada just because he was the cause of all these horrible things Ada had to go through. And then we actually meet up with Ada's friends, but she's changed. All the killing really turned her into a monster, so she also eliminates her friends. And well, that basically wraps up Dlirium. Well, not really, because I still need to talk about the thing that got me interested in this game. That is the Steam Workshop support. So basically, this game allows mods made by Steam users. While there aren't any mods, there are a lot of other stuff. So when you beat the game, you get access to arcade mode, which makes it possible to use a Steam workshop, so now you can make your own levels and others can download them. And you can now also make your own pony, or you can download some, like I did. I downloaded this pack which already had some custom models of the original cast of My Little Pony. And they are more custom than the normal custom characters that you can make, because they have a little bit of some different textures, but you can use them and that is what matters. You can also do random runs of the normal game, which only changes the spawn places of monsters and the spawn areas of items, like you can find those weird crystals from the darkness in the first level, while some monsters from later levels will also attack you. And well, that really wraps up Dlirium. I gotta say, if you love RPG maker games and horror games and My Little Pony, I actually had a lot of fun with this game, even though I only played for 4 hours, but still, I had a lot of fun getting footage for this video, so if you wanna try it, it's like $3.29 on Steam. And with that said, I'm ending this video here, so happy October everyone.